What?
What?
What the hell is this?
Harumph. I didn't get a harumph out of that guy.
Give the governor harumph.
Harumph? You watch your ass.
I see you shiver with anticipation.
Let the show begin.
Hey everybody, this is David Heretic coming at you with another edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. And tonight... Oh boy, okay. Yeah, never thought I'd see the day. Making his debut on the channel tonight. We have the King. We have Elvis Presley. Yes, indeed. How about that? Elvis Presley making his debut on the channel. Before we go any further, for those of you who are feeling inclined to do all the clicks and the likes and the bibbity boobity bop, do me a favor. Before you do all those things, please watch the whole video first, okay? Give me a chance to actually earn those clicks and likes. Now, after the video's done, if you still feel like doing all those clicks and likes, then by all means, feel free to click away. This comes as a request from JFK, and this is actually one of JFK's 3 prioritized requests for the month of December for being a gold tier member on the Patreon page. So, here you go, JFK. Hope you enjoy the show, man. JFK wanted to see me react to this song by Elvis Presley called Polk Salad Annie. Now, have I heard the song before? I don't know. If I'm being honest with you guys, I don't know if I've heard the song before or not. I may have. Then again, I may not have. I've heard a number of songs from Elvis Presley over this period of my life. And I very rarely know the names of the songs. I don't usually catch them, and I have no idea what they are. So I'm kind of like 50-50 on this. I may have heard it before. I may not have had it before. I'm not sure. In either case, I'm going to give it a listen. And if I start listening to the song and I suddenly go, haha, wait a second. Yeah, I do recognize this song. I'll let you know.
That's the truth.
You know me, I'm going to be honest with you guys. This was posted by Home of the King.
Agreed.
And the video has 50.9 million views. It'll get you there. Other than that, there's really nothing else left to say. Link to the original video will be down below in the video description for your viewing pleasure at your leisure. Let's get started. What do you say? Are you ready? Are you ready? Because here we go. All right, here we go. Elvis Presley, Polk Salad Annie, live, high quality. I mean, this was shot in what, the 70s? I very seriously doubt it could be HD. I don't think we're going to be looking at 1080 right now. I'm sure it's the best quality they can get. So we'll just make the best of it. All right, let's do this.
All right, boy, let's do this.
What are you looking at back there, huh? Some of y'all never been down south too much. I'm gonna tell you a little story so that you'll understand what I'm talking about. Down there we have a plant that grows out in the woods and the fields. And it looks something like a turnip green. And everybody calls it Polk salad. Now that's Polk salad. Polk. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Anyway, I used to know a girl lived down there.
Anyway.
She'd go out evenings and pick her a mess of it, carry it home and cook it for supper. That's about all they had to eat. But they did all right. Down in Louisiana.
It feels like the song's gonna kick in now. Great examples of being a band leader, and more importantly, big props to the band for watching for the cues. So great job on the band's part. I can make a lot of comparisons so far watching this to Bruce Springsteen. I have a feeling that's why JFK wanted to have me react to this, is because I think he wanted me to see the comparison. Well, congratulations, JFK. I mean, look, I've known for years and years and years that I even, if I'm not mistaken, the reason I know is because I saw an interview with Bruce Springsteen where he said that he took a lot of his cues from Elvis Presley as far as being the front man, being the band leader. Elvis Presley is one of his biggest influences in that regard. So I already knew that, but seeing it, yeah, I absolutely see the comparisons now. So yeah. I like how he's talking to the crowd, engaging the crowd, telling a little backstory. That's cool. Nothing wrong with that. As long as you don't take too long, you know, you got a song to get to, and, you know, people are paying to hear you play the song, not tell a story, you know. But then again, it's Elvis. I'm sure a lot of people, to be honest, they could care less what he could go. Elvis Presley could probably go up there and recite the ABCs 100 times, and people would still pay money to go see him do it. So that's the kind of power that the king has, you know.
It's good to be the king.
Anyway, let's keep going here.
Cooking for supper. That's about all they had to eat. But they did all right. Down in Louisiana, where the alligators grow so mean, there lived a girl that I swear to the world made the alligators look tame. Polk Salad Annie, you got your granny. Everybody said it was a shame, cause her mama was working on the chain gang. A mean, vicious, straight razor toting woman. Lord have mercy. Every day before supper.
Did he really put the mic in his mouth and vocalize? That's great. You don't see that happen too often.
Straight razor toting woman. Lord have mercy. Every day before supper time, she'd go down by the truck patch.
Now listen to that bass.
And pick her a mess of Polk salad and carry it home in a toast sack. Polk Salad Annie, you got your granny. Everybody said it was a shame, cause her mama was working on the chain gang.
God, you can set your watch to that bass player. Dear Lord. He is just thumping away on that, just keeping that steady, that eighth note pattern steady. And it's not even he's not even playing aggressively. He's laying back. He's totally holding back on it. He's not trying to bring attention to himself. It's just he's just keeping that time, man. Just keeping that time like a good bass player should. What a great job. I've heard stories about the band that Elvis Presley had, like the extent in size of what he had. And if I remember correctly, it was like an 18-piece or 20-piece band he had back there with him, not including the backing vocal. I'm just talking instrumentalists. He had like one drummer, two percussionists, 3 or 4 guitar players, a bass player, 2 keyboard players, and like 5 or 6 horns. I mean, it was, and then he had the backing vocalist, and he had like, I think it was 6 backing vocalists or something like that. I mean, it just in an extraordinarily large band. But here's the thing. Back in these days, back in the 60s and 70s, they didn't have track. They didn't have tracking. I mean, it was just, you went out there and you wanted a big full sound, you had to have a big full band. You had to. Like big band style size band. I can only imagine what the bill was like for paying the band, because the band members had to be paid. You got to pay them. And I'm sure Elvis made sure that he got like the best musicians he could get. And unfortunately, here's the thing a lot of people don't understand. When you're getting the best musicians that you can get, like you want the best, right? You better be willing to pay for the best, because those guys, they know it. They know they're in demand. Now, they also know they can be replaced, but they know their worth. And I've always been a big advocate for musicians. Get what you feel you're worth. If you feel that you are worth this, then ask for this. You know, seriously, if you feel you are worth $500 a day, then you ask for $500 a day. And if they want you bad enough, they will pay it. I promise you. Everybody talks about scale. I'll play for scale. What you're saying is you'll pay for, basically what you're saying is in layman's terms is you'll play for minimum wage. I mean, if you're happy with that, that's fine. That's totally fine. If that's what you're happy with, if that's what you feel you're worth. Me personally, I mean, it depends too. Like, it depends on who you're playing with and how much you're enjoying it. Like, I have played for scale before. I have, and it's okay. I was fine with it at the time because, you know, I was younger, trying to get my feet in the door. And the bands I was playing with, I would have, if I could have afforded to, I would have played for free because I had so much fun playing with them. Then again, I've had other bands where I'm not having that much fun and they like me, they want to keep me, and I'll tell them, listen, if you want to keep me, you like what I'm doing for you, that's fine, but scale ain't going to work for me anymore. You know, I did scale for you that one tour, that's fine, but you're coming to me and you're asking me. You know, you clearly want me because you like what I do and you appreciate what I do. So let's talk. Let's talk green. Let's talk money here, because scale ain't gonna work. Not on this tour. You know, and 9 times out of 10, if the band really wants to hire me, we talk and we negotiate. I may not get the 500 that I want, but they'll be willing to pay me 400 a day. Okay, fine. Talk scale. You know, I'll take 400 a day. Sure. It's about negotiation. You know what I mean? And I'm sure these guys all negotiated. And I'm sure they're all getting paid well. And if you ask me, Elvis is getting his money's worth because this band sounds good. It sounds good. It sounds really good. So let's keep going here. It's all rehearsed. What is he doing?
Her daddy was lazy and no count. Claimed he had a bad back. All her brothers.
Don't tell me that was a lyric sheet and he pulled it out to look at the lyrics. Don't tell me that. Don't. Did he really do that?
Her daddy was lazy and no count. Claimed he had a bad back. All her brothers were fit for stealing watermelons out of my truck. Crash Polk Salad Annie. You just got you ready. Everybody said it was a shame, 'cause her mama was working on the chain gang. You suck a little salad, no one needs. Suck a little salad.
That rapid zoom in, zoom out. You're gonna get motion sickness. Again, great job with the drummer watching for those cues. Now, listen, I'm sure it's all rehearsed. I'm sure it's all practice. Like this, when you see Elvis do this, you play this. I'm sure that's rehearsed. What may or may not be rehearsed is the number of times that it's done. I've heard stories that Elvis, much like Bruce Springsteen, was notorious for, I don't want to say going off script, but elongating the script, like going longer than it should, that they originally planned. Because, and listen, when you're the band leader and you're feeling it and you're feeling the crowd and you start doing something that the crowd's really into, what's your first instinct? You want to keep doing it. You want to really suck the crowd in. You want to bring the crowd to their feet, right? And if doing that is what's going to bring the crowd to their feet, then you should keep doing it, right? You don't want to cut it short and, cut your nose off to spite your face. So you keep doing it. And congratulations to the band for knowing that, number one, knowing that that could happen, and number two, anticipating it. And then number three, when you actually see it happening, go along with it and just watch and keep your eyes on the band leader. And if this drummer is anything like Max, he's probably got his eyes glued on Elvis right now, watching for it and going, okay, we're doing it again. And we're doing it again. And we're doing it again. Okay, that's all we were. Oh, here we go again. Oh, we're going longer. Okay, when's it going to stop? Okay, we've gone twice as long now. Oh, where's the cue to end it? He's probably got his eyes glued on Elvis right now, looking for the cue to end it. So, great job on the band's part. Oh, you can hear the ladies in the crowd.
Yeah. You're right. There you go. A little Polk Salad Annie. No one need me a mess. Suck a little. No one need me a mess. Suck a little. Suck a.
Hear the crowd? Keep it going. Keep it going.
Thank you.
Holy crap! There it is. Now the lights are up. Holy smoke. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, plus however many backing vocalists are over here. And I can't, there might be more over here. That could be over 20 people in the band. Dear Lord. A lot of people, man. A lot of people. But back in the day like that, man, if you wanted that big sound, you had to have a lot of people. Dang. Oh, there's like 2 seconds left. There it is. And of course it goes all the way back to the beginning because I pushed play by accident. Okay. I'm not watching it again. Let me get my thoughts together. I'll see you in the review and we'll talk about it. Well, there you go, folks. That was Elvis Presley with Polk Salad Annie. This was a request from JFK. And this was actually one of JFK's 3 prioritized requests for the month of December for being a gold tier member on the Patreon page. So there you go, JFK. I hope you enjoyed the show, man. Okay, I have a score here. Now, listen, I understand it's Elvis Presley. Okay, I understand that. I understand that he is the king. I absolutely understand that. And I do not try to deny that, okay? Listen, he was a groundbreaker. He was a trend setter. He was one of the people who originated the idea of performance rock music, showmanship, stage presence, stage energy, all the things I look for in a live show. He is like the guy who started all of that, you know, especially from a lead vocalist standpoint. So I am not trying to take anything away from the man here, okay, at all. I have nothing but the utmost respect for Elvis Presley and everything that he did for the world of not just rock, but the world of music in general. So believe me, I have the utmost respect for him. Having said that, I still have to be objective. I still have to give a score based on objectivity of what I saw and what I heard in comparison to what I've heard and seen from other bands in the past on the channel. So please keep that in mind when I give this score, because I know there's going to be a lot of people who are going to sit there and go, well, this deserves a 10. Everything Elvis does deserves a 10. Well, here's the problem with that, folks. When you say that, you're not being objective. And when you're not being objective, then you have no credibility. None. If you're going to sit there and say that everything Elvis does is a 10, let's look at that statement for a second. Everything he does deserves a 10, which means everything he does is perfect, number one. Okay? I don't believe in perfection. I believe things can always be improved upon. But even if I did, looking at every single song that he does, how can you honestly say, comparatively, every song deserves a 10? Does that mean that every single song sounds the same? Does that mean that every single song has the same feel? Does that mean every single song has the same groove? Does that mean every single song is that play at the same tempo? Does that mean every single song is played in the same key? Does that mean every single song sounds exactly the same? Because that's what it would have to be if every single song was a 10. There has to be those comparisons. There are going to be songs that are going to be 9s. There are going to be songs that are going to be 8s. And there are songs that are going to be 7s. There are probably even songs that are going to be 6s and 5s. If we're really being objective, there may even be songs that are down the 4s and the 3s. Songs that just weren't very good. You know, if you're being objective, you should be able to analyze and look at each song for its own merit, on its own, but yet at the same time compare it to what else he has done. Okay? That's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about being objective. So I was being objective here, and that's all there is to it. It's nothing personal. It's nothing. It's no slight against Elvis Presley. As a matter of fact, when you hear the score I'm going to give, if you know anything about the channel, you know that this is not a bad score. Not even close. Not even close to being a bad score. On a scale of 1 to 10, I am going to give that an 8.4. Yep, 8.4. I feel good about that score. Let me tell you why.
Why?
This was a great job. It really was. Now, the song itself, is the song itself great? I don't know if I would go that far. I would say the song is really good. I would say the song is somewhere in the atmosphere of like 7.4 to 7.6, somewhere in there. Okay? It's a really good song. It's got a good groove. It's got a good feel. It's at a great tempo, a good chugging tempo. It's an easy song to groove to. It's not overly complex. You don't have to sit there with a scientific calculator and do all these, outrageous equations to try and figure out what time signature you're in. But then again, back in the day like this, that really didn't happen a whole lot. I don't know if this was 60s or 70s. I'm not 100% sure when this was. But it is a really good song. I did enjoy the song, okay? I would never say the song is great on its own. Like, if you take the song on its own merit, I would just take the song itself and give it, like I said, 7.4, 7.5, 7.6, somewhere in that range, okay? So how am I coming to the 8.4? Number one, that band. That band. Now that I love that last shot that I saw where you saw, I don't even know if we saw the whole band, but you saw a wider scope of what is on that stage. Holy hell. There is a lot of talent on that stage. A lot of different musicians. I had heard stories about how big his band is. And it's one thing to have that number in your mind. It's a whole nother thing to actually see it, okay? Number two, those musicians that are on that stage, very talented musicians, clearly. I know Elvis did not work with slouches. He only would work with the best in the business. And he's got him. And it's very clear that he's got him because that band sounded tight. And I know for a fact I didn't even hear the whole band. So I'm sure there's members of the band that didn't even, come in, like the backing vocals. We didn't hear them at all, I don't think. I didn't hear them. On the choruses, I think we heard them do a little vocalization each time. But that was it. That was the extent. But a very talented band and very, very capable of watching for cues. Very, very talented work when it came to looking for those changes, looking for those cues, having to go with the flow on the fly and not being able to just, that's not how we rehearsed it. It doesn't matter that's how you rehearsed it or not. That's what's happening. So you got to be able to adapt. And these musicians clearly can adapt to the situation. Got to give a shout out to that bass player, man. The bass player, setting that tempo. Setting that tempo. And I know a lot of people don't understand this, but believe it or not, the tempo is not kept by the drummer. The drummer's job, believe it or not, the drummer's job is to set the feel of the song. What type of a song is it? What's the feel? Where are the subdivisions? Where are we in a rock feel? Are we in a funk feel? Are we in a swing feel? Are we in are we in a salsa feel? Are we in a mambo feel? Are we in a that's the drummer's job, is to set the mood and the feel of the song. The bass player's job is the tempo, plain and simple. It is to keep that clock going. That is the bass player's primary job. You could ask, I'm serious, go around and ask any professional bass player you know, ask any music instructor that you know, ask any band director that you know. Doesn't matter what it is, junior high school, elementary school, high school, college, doesn't matter. Ask anybody in the music industry who knows music. They will tell you the same thing. Drummer sets the feel, bass player's the clock. It's that simple. That bass player here, and the reason I'm putting so much emphasis on this is because this was before in-ears. This is before we had click going into our ear, helping us with that tempo. We didn't have this back in the 70s. And back in the 80s even, we really didn't have this either. We didn't have that metronome going. We had to be a human metronome. We had to know what 120 beats per minute was, and we had to be able to hit those notes. I just flubbed. I just rushed right there. But that's what us bass players had to do back in the 70s and 80s. Now, I wasn't playing, obviously, in the 70s and 80s. I didn't start playing bass until the 90s. But I know because I've seen so much footage of bands playing in the 70s, and they don't have in-ears. They don't have a click. They had to be a human metronome. John Paul Jones was probably one of the best bass players when it comes to metronome, man. That guy, he is a human metronome, man. He really is. He knows. Like if they tell him we want quarter notes at 126, he'll be like, okay, and then he'll just start playing. Don't even need a click. I mean, he uses a click now, obviously, because he has to, because that's what the engineers tell him and whatnot. But and for the sake of the rest of the band. But I mean, back in the day with Zeppelin, he didn't need a click. He didn't use a click. The clicks didn't exist. So, and I loved how he was playing, man, with that laid back feel, with just that soft touch, man, that soft touch. He was thumping. He was definitely thumping, but at the same time, he was really keeping it down low. He was really keeping it soft and not like bringing a whole lot of attention to himself. I mean, you noticed him. You couldn't help but notice him because there were times where he was literally playing by himself, but at the same time, he never like grabbed the spotlight. He was just back there, just playing those eighth notes, man. Just nice, solid, easy groove. And it sounded so good. I dug it. Was it fancy? No, but it was rock solid, and you could set a clock to that with no problem. So yeah, gotta give a major shout out to the bass player. But I give a big shout out to the whole band as general. The whole band did a great job. Elvis. Okay, vocally. If we're being honest here, have I heard other vocalists sing better than him? Oh yes. Oh yes, definitely. I've heard a ton of other people sing better than Elvis did, okay? But here's the thing. Elvis wasn't really known for his singing ability. He was known for being a front man. He was known for being a showman. And he definitely puts on a great show, without question. I mean, I can only imagine what tickets were going for. And this is, like I said, I don't know if this is late 60s, early 70s. I don't know when this was. But I'm willing to bet tickets probably started at about $150 to $200. And that's for the cheap seats way in the back. Now, you equate that for inflation, and you adjust for inflation, we're talking $800 to $1,000 each for back row. So you can only imagine what front row tickets probably went for. I mean, dear Lord, they were probably going for like $500 a pop, which again, adjusting for inflation, would probably be somewhere around $2,500 to $3,000. So, you know, I mean, but that's the thing. When you're Elvis Presley, you can charge whatever you want because people are going to come, they're going to pay that money, and they got no problem paying that money. Why? Because it's Elvis frickin' Presley, and they know that they're going to get their money's worth. Why? Because he is an impeccable showman. He really is. He puts on a great live show with a great band backing him, with great stage presence and frontman showmanship. I mean, he absolutely puts on a great show. Anybody that's going to say that they went there for Elvis's vocal ability, I question them. I do. If that's the only reason you went, I don't care what he does on stage. I just want to hear the man sing because he's a beautiful singer. Okay, Chief. You say so. No, listen, it was a great job. I mean, it was a really great job on the live performance end. The live performance definitely outshined the song itself. So that's how I came to the 8.4. I mean, like I said, the song is really good on its own, but it's the live show with that huge band and that huge sound playing tight, super tight, with probably, arguably, one of the greatest frontmen in the history, not just of rock music, but in the history of music in general. The guy who set the standard, the guy who started it all when it comes to being a frontman. So, gotta give credit where credit's due. And yeah, 8.4, I feel good with that score, and that's where we're gonna stay. So, 8.4, final score, I have spoken. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. Hope you all enjoyed the show. Hopefully I was able to entertain you. If I was able to put a smile on your face and brighten your day, I did my job, and I'm so glad I could do it. If you guys feel like joining the fan base, go ahead and click on that button down there. If you guys want to like the video, go ahead and like the video. If you guys want to ring the bell, go ahead and ring the bell. It honestly doesn't make any difference at all to me. But if you guys feel like doing these things, then by all means, feel free to do so. Well, that's going to do it for tonight, folks. Thank you very much for watching. And as always, this is David Heretic signing off, reminding you to stay fabulous and support each other. Later. Peace.